back to the left. We'll give you a... I'm gonna start over now. We are about 10 miles offshore, and we just got a really beautiful sunset. I did a time lapse of that. We'll see how well that turned out. I don't know. But you can see that sky there. It's just very beautiful. The water is super calm. We are supposed to have about 2-mile-an-hour winds tonight. So we really should have some nice weather for this overnight. Welcome back to Smok'n Jay's Garage. Today we are taking our Yamaha boat out and we are going to overnight it. And I've already filmed some of the footage. We came into, we went out on the bay, and we did actually film the sun going down. Got some good footage of that, I think, some with the drone and then some with the GoPro. We came back into town to get to see the lights of town, and I gotta focus on what I'm doing here too. So I don't know how well you can see this because it's dark, but we have the train bridge, and we've got a train coming across. So I've been here after dark a few times before, not very many times, and I noticed an extra yellow light flashing that I don't remember being there, and as I was getting a little closer, sure enough, the bridge is closing. So we can't get underneath that, there's not clearance. So we may sit here and wait for it, or we may just head back out where we're gonna actually spend the night. I was going ahead and looking at behind us. So coming into the port, we got all the lights of the city, which we wanted to try to get some footage of all the lights. We thought that might turn out nice. But then we turned around and looked, and it's just like nothing but black headed back out there. So I don't know how fun of a ride that is going to be, but we did bring our night vision, so we should be able to get back out okay, hopefully. So we already filmed some footage. We'll throw in places, not necessarily all in order. You gotta watch, make sure I'm not drifting into anything. So all of our footage won't be in order, so hopefully I don't get confused as I'm saying this, but I think right now I'm gonna start heading back out, and we're gonna start setting up camp for the night. For those of you that like trains, I got as close as I felt I could safely get. You guys can see the train go across the bridge a little bit. It's pretty dark, so I don't know how much is actually going to show up once we put this on something a bigger screen than the GoPro. Lights really light up pretty nice. Camera's pointed up a little bit so that you can see and hear me, but actually lights this whole area up here quite well. I was worried that I didn't have a flashlight or anything with because I had forgotten that, but these tower lights, you really don't need anything. It's the first time that I have ever used them in the dark, so I'm getting to see what they look like. The interior lights also, I have never used those in the dark. This is my first time out with this boat after dark. I've also never used the docking lights, which I will show you those once it gets a little bit darker because you really don't shine very far. But that's the idea because you don't want them shining any farther than just your dock as you're pulling up to it. So we'll show you those as it gets dark a little bit. So Good morning. Last night was miserable. So the weatherman lies all the time. I knew I couldn't trust him. For some reason, I trusted him. He said waves were going, I'm not sorry, not waves. Wind was going to be 2 miles an hour, becoming calm. And we had about 1 foot waves, which isn't really bad in a boat this size. But when you're just at anchor and you're trying to sleep, that's pretty miserable. So we ended up moving the boat. We came over here. We were out of the wind because we had a north wind. We got some land to our north now. And then the wind changed directions again, and again,
And again, we literally made a complete circle after we got here. Check out, so I got the bed set up over here. I just slept out on the cushions. Bugs were absolutely horrible. It's crazy. I'm gonna show you this. Look at just a little bit here on the seats. You can see just the dead bugs on the floor. These are just the bugs that died as we slept. And wait for this. Wait for this. Look at the back of the boat. Look at all of those mosquitoes frickin' everywhere. It's disgusting. Some of them are still alive. We also had, you can't see it because it's pretty foggy out today. We had a freighter ship that I saw that looked like it was going to come in, and I wanted to make sure we didn't drift into its path. It never came in overnight, and it is coming in right now. It's pretty foggy out right now, and I can't see it anymore, but I could see it just a minute ago. But one thing that I did learn that I did not know, so due to not wanting to have a dead battery, I shut my key off, but I had my anchor light on because I didn't want anybody to run me over. And as you can see, maybe you can't see, I don't know if you can tell that that light is on. It's dark enough now, I'm sorry, light enough now, maybe you can't see that. But when you shut your key off with your anchor light on, your anchor light will stay on, and then when you turn your key back on, it will shut off. So I didn't know that before. That's something that was interesting. I learned that. Maybe that's helpful to you. You can see we had a really heavy dew as well. You can take a look at the windshield and just see how much condensation we have everywhere. Where my blanket wasn't. You can see all the wet on the seats. Even the other side of the seat here, it's just all wet, full of dead bugs. It's crazy. So I don't know how often we will be overnighting on the boat again, but we'll see how it goes. It was interesting. It's pretty calm right now, but when it was rough, it wasn't rough, but it was very unpleasant to sleep in. It was just enough rocking, slush in the boat that trying to sleep was not working out very well. So, and now I have no coffee, and I'm pretty bummed out about that. These mutilated mosquitoes, they just laughed at my bug spray. It was a joke. I got the back of the boat here cleaned up a little bit, as best as I can with what I have with me. Looks much better. At least I can stand on the back of the boat. And you're probably wondering what, if anything, did I take with me extra for an overnight that I would not have taken with me on a normal day. My vacuum cleaner is what helped me clean up a lot of those bugs, and my vacuum cleaner I typically take on the boat even during the day for just such things. What I did not normally take with me that I took with me today was my radio. I've got a DeWalt radio that's battery powered because I knew I was not going to run my boat stereo all night because I didn't want to end up with a dead battery or the potential of a dead battery. I ended up not using the radio at all. We shut the key off, which remember, I said left the light on, the anchor light, which was cool. We didn't end up getting hit by anything. I left the radio put away though. I didn't even take it out because we didn't listen to music. So that was something I took with. I really didn't need to. I also took with a jumper pack just in case I ended up with a dead battery. My volts are showing good. I have not fired up the engines yet, but I don't think that we're going to need that either. So that was another thing that I took with. I also took my 4570 with just in case we had some pirates. We ended up not having any pirates unless you call these crazy ass mutated mosquitoes, but well, we didn't use that either. Not yet anyway, still early. So the things that I took with additionally to what I would not normally have taken with on a day trip, I didn't use any of those things with the exception of a blanket. I took an extra blanket with, and it was a little bit chilly last night. It was supposed to be low in the 70s. It felt a lot colder than that, maybe because of the wind, which obviously has died down now completely. It's absolutely beautiful out here now, very foggy, but it is super gorgeous out. Just to give you an idea, we got a little bit of a harbor over here where we got out of the wind a little bit at night. You can see how close we are to land in this corner anyway. And earlier this morning when I woke up, I could not see land. Even this land right here that's only about a half mile away or so. We were out about 10 miles, and then we came back in a little bit, tried to get this spot because the wind was coming out of the north, and this right here is facing north, so that little spot of land would block off a lot of our wind, which it did for a short time until, of course, the wind changed directions again, and then that was not very helpful. So, but now we've got our 2-mile-an-hour winds that the weatherman promised us, 12 hours ago. So I'm gonna work on cleaning up the boat a little bit more, and then we're gonna probably have to get me some coffee. Just kind of for a reference here, this is how foggy it is. I'm behind the windshield right now so that you can hear me. We're not in too much wind, but I'm gonna lift you up above the windshield so you can see better here. You really can't see anything anywhere. That was a pretty crazy ride back. Probably just as crazy as it was going out last night in the dark. I could not see anything. The fog is super, super thick. Obviously, you can see on my windshield, you're not seeing through any of that because there's so much water on it. I had that all cleaned off before we left. I had to stand up, obviously. My face, I can just wipe the water off of my face. The front of my shirt is wet. I've got GPS, obviously, and I know this area pretty good, but even with the two of those, it was pretty crazy. So we're at the dock right now. I don't know if you can see that. You can probably see we got some land there. Right there is the docks. I can barely see them from here even. We've got a lighthouse right there. You can't even see the light from that lighthouse hardly. It's super, super foggy. This is just the ship canal, the mouth of the river here. You can see land on both sides. It's only about maybe 100, 200 yards wide, and you can barely see land on either side. It's super, super foggy. All right, we're back at the dock, safe and sound. What a night. You can see some of the water over here, just sitting on there even. Just crazy. That's super foggy. But anyway, that was our night. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. It was probably not a night we're gonna repeat again anytime soon, but it was an experience. So you should do it at least once, I guess. If you watch this channel for the first time and you haven't already and you want to, boom, please subscribe.